Hello, good morning, happy Friday. Welcome. Most of you will know me. My name is Jeff Bruner with WiLS. I'm very excited to be joined today by Tanya Burns from Euromonitor. She's going to give us a live demonstration of the Euromonitor Passport program and to give us an idea of what it can do for your institutions. So that's probably enough for me. I will turn things over to Tanya. Over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeff. Hi, everyone. As Jeff said, my name is Tanya Burns. I am one of the business development account managers over here at Euromonitor. I work with a number of colleges and universities across the United States with their various passport subscriptions. And so we wanted to take this opportunity today to introduce Passport to folks who might not be aware of the database that could possibly be, a possible database resource for you all. And so my goal today is just to simply show you the database, see if there is any applicability towards any of the programs that you run over at your institutions, and if there is any interest post demonstration for trials, we're happy to set that up for you as well. So with all of that being said, let's just get into it, because it is Friday, and the last thing you probably want to do is spend your time on a Friday morning walking through a database subscription. But let's get to it, and I will send you on your way. And I have to apologize ahead of time, because I have a tendency to be verbose, and so I will do my best to be as succinct as possible. But even though this is market research information, it is kind of exciting sometimes. So I do have a tendency to kind of be a little bit talky when running through this information. So preemptive apologies on that. But as Jeff said, I am the academic manager over here at Euromonitor for the academics team, or account manager, I should say. We provide this database for just over right around between 200 and 250 universities across the United States and Canada. And so what we do is we employ industry analysts across the globe. Their sole purpose is to do a combination of primary and secondary research. And what that means is, as I kind of hover over each tab, the Passport database is divided into basically three major components. That is our industry's information, our economy's data, and our consumers' data. So when I mention those analysts, they are located in the 100 countries that we provide this research for. Everything on our industry side is primary. So this is our research that we are conducting. Those industry analysts across the globe not only are doing kind of desk research and secondary research to provide and come up with this data, but they're also talking to, and this is where the primary comes in, they are doing store checks, they're talking to everyone up and down the supply chain, they're talking to trade associations, they're interviewing trade associations, they're interviewing manufacturers and distributors and all of those folks to get a sense of what that particular industry is doing and how it's performing or will perform. They gather that data across those different countries, and then they send it to our UK and Lithuania offices for standardization. And what that means is that we're using the same definitions across all of the countries that we research. So if you'll know that if you're researching, say, the beer industry in Azerbaijan, you can compare that, and you know that we're using the same definitions as the beer industry here in the US. So you're truly able to compare those two different industries. So what does that mean for students and faculty? So what that means is that for a student who is doing a market entry project or kind of a some sort of market research for a particular industry, they are taking that information and they know that they also have to focus on a country, correct? So once they've identified an industry that they want to focus on, they also need to know how easy is it to do business within that country. So what's the ease of getting a construction permit, or what's the ease of getting electricity to your site? What's the GDP of that country? What is the land mass or water situation like in that particular country? If the infrastructure is if there are no roads, or roads are limited in where you're trying to build a distribution center in a particular country, then maybe that's not the country that you want to focus on. As for lack, that's very basic, but so we provide that country research as well. In addition to that, we also provide our consumer data and analysis. So you've got your industry that you want to focus on, you've got your country that you want to pursue. What's the shopping habits of that consumer? What are the eating habits and drinking habits of that consumer? How much are they spending their money on? What are they spending their money on? How much are they saving? How much are they making? That information is found under our consumer information, or consumer tab. So the goal of Passport is to kind of be that, and to sound cliche, but that one-stop shop, right? So you're able to find all of the information and all of that research within one database, as opposed to having to go to multiple resources. With all that being said, let's dive into an example. For today's session, I'll do a soft drinks example, but know that everything that you see here is available to you in a subscription, if that's what you choose to move toward. So let's dive in. Let's do soft drinks. You know, I've been trying to not drink as much soda, so I'm still kind of interested in what the soft drinks industry looks like moving forward. So we'll dive into that soft drinks example. And what you're seeing here is Passport, right? And also I should note that what students see in Passport here is what they would see if they were to become employed, say at Coca-Cola or Pepsi or Anheuser-Busch. Those companies, some of those countries do subscribe to Passport, and they get the kind of more in-depth, more granular version of our database for the corporate level, but we are able to provide this database at a discount to colleges and universities, because students are the best resource, right? They are our advertising. So if they were to get a job at Coca-Cola and they say, you know what, I used this database when I was, in undergrad or grad, and it became in really handy, and I think that you should use it. That's our goal in providing this database for colleges and universities. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to our dashboard. The dashboard is our data visualization tool. In a few steps, you're able to see how an industry is expected to change over time. You're able to see in just a few steps what the market size of that industry is as well. So what we're looking at here is the global footprint of the soft drinks industry. We can change our category, switch this over to carbonates, select go, and now my map has changed and I'm looking at the global footprint of the carbonates category within soft drinks. This is a great map. It's all fine and dandy. However, if I'm a student and I'm looking to market my new flavored carbonate to a particular country, and I'm trying to figure out which country I want to pursue, I need to know how the industry is expected to change or grow or not grow over time. So we can switch our map to forecast, and it becomes a little bit more colorful. I can see by the deepest blues areas that are expected to grow the fastest, and the reds and oranges show countries that are expected to decline over the next 5 years. So we're looking at this from a compounded annual growth rate. So I can hover over each country if I wanted to figure out which is the fastest growing country, or I can switch this over to a bar chart and I immediately see that Iraq is one of the fastest growing countries, followed by Turkey, followed by Uzbekistan, etc. Fastest declining country is Peru with a negative 3.9% negative growth over the next 5 years. So what's happening in Turkey? So what I've done is I've clicked on Turkey here. You see my quick stats have changed. I can click on this little notepad here. This is going to take me to the analysis. So with every what, we provide a why, essentially. So everything that we provide here data-wise, we also provide accompanying analysis reports. So I'm taken to the Carbonates in Turkey report. This was updated in December 2020. All of our reports now will let you know whether this report was written after the outbreak of COVID-19 or before, if maybe that industry hasn't been updated yet. So with here, we're seeing the key findings within the carbonates industry in Turkey. What is happening? Why is it expected to grow? Obviously, with COVID, led to a lot of negative growth or negatively impacting growth within this particular industry. But you'll also see here that this is expected to grow over the next 5 years. Folks within Turkey are expected to, become more interested in these flavored products as income grows, as disposable income grows, and things of that nature. So coming over here on the left-hand side, you'll see how our commentary on the industry. On the right-hand side here, you'll see our various charts and graphs, our brand share information, company share data, etc. I'm going to scroll back up. You have the analysis. The next tab over is our data graphics. And what our data graphics does is it allows you to kind of play around with those charts that you saw on the previous page. So you're able to see the sales of carbonates here on the left-hand side. Sorry about that. The volume, or excuse me, the default is in volume for anything kind of drink related, and what that sales impact is over year on the right-hand side. We can also change this data type. If I wanted to change this to value, so we're looking at this in dollars, I can do that. You'll see here that this is in local currency. Coming over here in the upper right-hand corner, I can switch this over to US dollars, and our graph, excuse me, just a second, we switch that over, we go back to value, and you see now we are in US dollars to really get a sense of what is happening within the carbonates industry. Also within the data graphics, you're able to dive a little bit deeper into that subcategory level of the carbonates industry here. So we can see, so if you're particularly interested in cola carbonates or non-cola carbonates, say, or lemon lime or orange carbonates, we've got all of that subcategory information here. If it was say you're looking at orange, I've selected orange carbonates over here on the left-hand side, and you see over here on the right-hand side, my graph is changed accordingly. So a lot of good information for students to use in order to determine what a country that they want to pursue for their carbonate market entry project. You can also switch this over to kind of a graph, or excuse me, a chart, if this is easier to read for students, or you can switch it back over to this graph. So we looked at the dashboard for carbonates in Turkey. We also looked at a sample analysis. Additionally, let's just kind of come back over here. Let's go back over to our soft drinks page. I also want to show you a third step where you can compare different countries to see maybe which country, maybe Turkey isn't the country that you want to pursue. Maybe there's another country that you'd like to pursue better. So there's an area where we can do a ton of data manipulation. A ton of information can be exported, and I'll show that to you. Let's scroll down and show that to you right now. So we're going to actually come over here to search statistics. We're going to go back and choose that carbonates example one more time, and then click go. Here we'll be brought to a tree where we can kind of do some picking and choosing, but let's keep things as it is at carbonates. Anytime you see an I, it tells you how we're defining that industry or that category. I can pick my geographies on the next tab. There are a number of predefined selections over here on the right, or I can just simply kind of pick and choose countries that I might be interested in. So let's pick Turkey because that's one of the countries that that's the main story that I'm telling today. We'll choose the US kind of as a comparison country, and then maybe let's pick China. So we've got these three countries, right? We're going to click search, and then we'll be brought to an area where we can either dive into the statistics or dive into the analysis, differentiated by these tabs. We previously looked at the carbonates in Turkey. Please know that there's also carbonates in the US, carbonates in China. We have reports for all of the countries that we provide that data for. But let's dive into the statistics, and we're going to look at the market size. Here's where we can compare those three countries, as I mentioned. You'll be brought to this data chart where students and faculty can do a bunch of data manipulation, as I mentioned. For our example and for time, I'm just going to leave this at volume, millions of liters, but know that you can change your data type here. You can also change your series, your year series. If you're mainly interested in forecast data, we can pull in 2025, click apply, and you'll see our data change in italics to determine that kind of forecast information. What I also want to bring your attention to is the fact that you can export this data. You can export it into an Excel, you can export it to a PowerPoint. Same with our reports, same with our dashboards. You can take a snapshot of those dashboards, or you can export it to a PowerPoint and incorporate that into any reporting. But what I want to show you as well is our company share and brand share information. So I'm a student. I know that I've got my carbonate drink that I want to pursue to Turkey. Who are the players? Who are the top brands in that country? So you need to know who those people are. Coca-Cola is the top brand in Turkey in terms of volume. This is actually in terms of percent breakdown. They command 41% of the brand share in Turkey, followed by Fanta, followed by Pepsi. If I scroll down, you'll see that we provide this data down to the 0.1%. Anything below that is what we consider negligible, and that is typically housed in this others category. In 2020, there are only 2% of the brands are below 0.1%, which is interesting because that just goes to show just how big of a player obviously Coca-Cola is, and how unfragmented essentially the Coca-Cola, or excuse me, the carbonates industry is in Turkey. So along with brand share, please note that you can also click the brown square that we saw previously to get company share information as well. Also, if we were to change this over to value, you could convert your data. Actually, let's do that today just so we can so you can get a sense of what that is. And let's actually go back to our market size. Sorry about that. So we're going to go back to market size simply because I do want to be able to show where you can compare in value these three countries. So remember, we switched over to US dollars in the report. Now I'm going to show you where you can switch over to US dollars here within this data chart. I switched over to value. I changed my data types, and now I'm clicking convert data, and I can switch my currency to US dollars, and I'm choosing fixed exchange rates for this example. So now you're able to truly compare China, US, obviously, and Turkey in terms of what that size or the market size is. You're also able to, and we won't do it today, but you can switch this over to growth percentage year over year or compounded. And you can also pull this in terms of per capita or per household. So we've decided that we're going to pursue Turkey, right? That's where our carbonates, that's where we're going to make our money. We're going to go to Turkey. So how easy is it to do business in Turkey? We're going to come over here to the business dynamics page. And within the business dynamics page, this is where information becomes secondary. We provide macroeconomic and socio-demographic data for 200 countries on the economies and consumer side. It is secondary in nature. However, we do provide what we kind of call that Euromonitor spin on things. We are able to, we provide reports for all of these countries in order for students and faculty to determine whether or not that this truly is a country that they want to pursue. So this is a Euromonitor written report based on data that we have found in other sources, for example, OECD, national statistics, and so on. So, and we do provide that statistical information within this database as well. But for the sake of time, I want to just show you a couple of reports here, and then a report on the consumer side, show you help, and then I'll open it up to questions. So as I mentioned, I tend to talk. So what we're looking at here is the business dynamics report in Turkey. This was written in December 2020. We take that ease of doing business ranking provided by the World Bank, and we just kind of provide some further color around it. We look at the headlines, we look at the competitive analysis or competitive index for Turkey. What is the operational and regulatory environment like in Turkey, meaning how easy is it going to be to do business within this country, what the skill and labor is, which in this case we've got some skills shortages in terms of labor, and then what's transport and infrastructure like. Remember I mentioned earlier about logistics, distribution center and roads and things like that. This is where you can kind of find that more information in terms of the business dynamic of this country. And then after that, we provide a series of charts and graphs related to that ease of doing business and those different types of indicators. But as I mentioned, the most important piece is the ability to provide this kind of further context and color around that ease of doing business ranking provided by the World Bank. So we've looked at the business dynamics report. We also have an additional report here under the economy, finance, and trade page, looking at the GDP of a country. So exactly like the business dynamics, we also provide a report related to EF&T, as we like to call it internally here, the economy of a particular country. So you need to be able to do this research and this country growth. And here, the major headline in this report is telling you that in 2020, real GDP growth was negatively impacted, of course, by COVID-19, the COVID-19 pandemic. This report is timely. It was written just last month and uploaded, I should say, just last month. Within the EF&T report, you're able to look at the role of kind of government financing, foreign direct investment, what's the risk, the economic risk of doing business within Turkey, and so on. I also want to call your attention to, and I'm going to go back one page, and you'll see here that we have a Turkey country profile. If you were to subscribe to Passport, or if you were to do a trial, you'll see over the next few months that the country profiles within the economy, finance, and trade page are changing. And I think that will be met with good news in that we're switching them to pest analyses. So we're going to look at, we're providing more in-depth reporting related to pests. So the political, economic, social, and technological environments within that particular country, just to provide more information and more clarity related to that particular country. So this will change. It won't say Turkey country profile, it'll probably say Turkey pest analysis. And those reports are going to be updated or uploaded as the country is uploaded. So it's going to be a rolling update rather than a big dump of all pest analyses at one time. Let's move over to consumers. So this is the third major component, right? We've got our industry information. We're going to pursue Turkey. We've decided that we're going to take the risk and continue, even though we've evaluated the business dynamic in Turkey, we're going to continue to try to market to that country. In addition to that, you'll need to know what the consumer is like. So under our consumers, I've went to our lifestyles page. Sorry about that, lifestyles. We provide information within a series. We've conducted, I should say, let me back up, a series of questions. We've asked a series of questions in online survey form. And you'll find that information here within the lifestyle survey database. This is in a dashboard form. I'll try not to dig too deep into it because there is so much data and it sometimes kind of holds things up. And for our time, I want to make sure that I don't get too bogged down in the weeds here. But ideally, what I want to show is the fact that we ask a series of different topics, right? So we've, and of course it doesn't want to work for me right now, but that's my Wi-Fi, that's not the database. So we've divided our survey topics into 10 different, or survey into 10 different topics or themes. And you'll see that here in terms of eating and drinking, healthy living, house and home, leisure, personal traits and values, shopping, spending, saving, and technology. And you'll see that we've been asking this survey and asking these questions since 2015, starting out with 16,000 respondents. That was, I think, 8 countries. And now we ask, we're asking these questions or conducting the survey to 40 different countries. So, and you'll see here that anything that that has that delta shows that we've got kind of trending information. This is great information if a student is taking, doing a marketing course and really needs that psychographic data and analysis, where you really need to dig deep into kind of the attitude of that consumer, what they're, who are they eating with, who are they drinking with, what's their age, what's their income. All of that information is found within the lifestyle survey. We take that data and then we provide it also in report form. And that's what I also want to show you. So within our country reports, again, on the lifestyles page, let's scroll on down, back on down to Turkey. And you'll see that there are a series of 6 different reports one caveat or one kind of disclaimer. We are, as with the past, we are in the middle of combining these reports. Instead of 6, there will now be 4. However, the content isn't going away. It's just being kind of streamlined into 3 context or analysis, and then 1 visual only report. So coming over to consumer overview, which will be relabeled consumer lifestyles, this is a great kind of jumping off report to really get into the eyes of the consumer here in Turkey. You'll see here by opening up this table of contents, we're looking at things from a post or not post COVID world, I guess in the middle of a COVID world, I should say. And then we look at things, their different attitudes towards home life, eating, working, etc. If I scroll or click on eating, that's going to take me directly into that section of the report. And we talk about the eating habits of the Turkish consumer. So a lot of great information here, and you'll see that this report is quite lengthy. It combines context or analysis that you see here along with kind of crystallizing and contextualizing some of the survey responses into chart form. Okay, so those are the 3 main components of Passport. The last section I want to make sure that you're aware of is the help section. Each subscriber does have an account manager assigned to them, and that I feel is unique to Euromonitor and to the academics team here. So if you were to come on board, you would be assigned an account manager, someone like myself or one of my colleagues. And so you would be, if I'm not available to answer your question or you know, answer your question via phone or email. Sorry about that. We also have a series of videos. We try to onboard, obviously, every university that comes on board with us. So we conduct training similar to this session here via webinar or in person once that is safe to do so. But there are going to be times when I'm not available or your account manager isn't available. And so we have a series of videos that are very short, about 3 to 4 minutes in length, starting off with just kind of the general overview of Passport, working with statistics. So this is where I dove into kind of that combination, adding in those 3 countries and the forecast years and switching over to value and all that fun stuff. We provide a short video on working with statistics. There's also a video on working with our dashboards. So a lot of information here in short kind of 3-minute overviews in order to help the user if their account manager is not available. In addition to that, under the help section, we also have a series of frequently asked questions. We do that, provide that by industry. So if we were to kind of scroll down the soft drinks, you'll see what the most frequently asked questions are related to the soft drinks industry. Definitions. Our definitions are just that. So we divide how we are explaining or categorizing, defining our different industries. And again, this is by industry as well. And then lastly is our update schedule. Our industry information is updated on an annual basis, and we are very transparent in how that is. So we provide that information when the last update was, when the next update is scheduled, and what that will include. Okay. That is everything that I wanted to show today within Passport. I will say, and I'm going to show this, we will, in about a year, we will be, I don't know if you can see this. Jeff, can you just kind of weigh in and let me know if you could see this PowerPoint?
It looks like we're still seeing the browser.
Okay. All right, I'm going to just stop sharing for just 1 second because I do want to show this PowerPoint there.
Yeah, we've got it now.
Okay, perfect. So with all of that being said, we are moving to a more simplified interface in the fall. So in a few months, you'll see that we're going to divide the interface into kind of more tangible bites. And we believe that this is going to really help simplify that front end and really help the user, the students and faculty really be able to dig down and further conduct their research within this kind of new interface. So that was the last thing I want to show. I'm going to stop and then reshare my Passport database one more time, just to be able to answer any questions that you might have. So with that, Jeff, I'll turn it back over to you. If there are any questions, I am happy to answer them at this time. Yeah.
Tanya, I don't see any questions having come into chat just yet.
Okay.
We can certainly wait a moment just to see if anybody wants to submit anything.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll take that moment because I'm the kind of person who can't, for whatever reason, can't stand to let it be silent. Just take that moment to remind everybody watching that WiLS and Euromonitor have a long relationship working together. We have really great options available for institutions of different sizes and types. So if what you've seen today piques your interest and you think you might want to learn more, you can reach out to me and we can get you in touch with Tanya or somebody else over at Euromonitor to learn more about what it might, what pricing might be, what things are on offer, and other details about the various options available to our members.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of dovetail on that too, Jeff, in addition to everything that you've said, we are offering an additional included with that kind of already discounted pricing that we've crafted with the folks at WiLS. We are offering an additional 5% discount from now until, oh gosh, Jeff, was it June?
I think that's right. That's something I should have had at hand.
I should have had it too, actually. But yes, I think there's an additional 5% discount for if folks were to kind of jump on board between now and June. That's is available as well.
Great. Yeah, that's great. And as Tanya mentioned, I mean, there's already consortium pricing structure that's built just because of our partnership. But yeah, if you have been thinking about getting on board, there's never been a better time because you can get that additional promotional discount right now as well.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks to me like we don't have any extra questions that have come into the chat window, but I'll just renew my offer to take any questions or comments. Feel free to email or call me, and we can we'll make sure that we get answers for you and trial information, pricing information, whatever you need to make sure that you can get this great content available for your users.
Great.
Thanks so much for joining us today, Tanya. You did a great job. I thought it was
Thank you.
Session. I think the product is really cool, and it's the kind of thing that I can definitely see being very, very useful at almost any institution.
Perfect.
Well,
yeah, Jeff, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coordinating this. And if folks have any questions, certainly relay those to me. I'm happy to answer them at any time. And I appreciate everyone jumping on board today.
Great. Thanks so much. Everyone have a great weekend, and well, we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.